I Was a Teenage Exocolonist is a narrative triumph. It's engrossing, tragic, gorgeous, warning, unexpected, and poignantly reflective out of new reality despite the fact it takes place amidst an infinite colony on the other side of the universe. Northway Games and Finji have created their personal consequence. One of the biggest decisions our character can possibly make are insignificant to wider picture of global colonization and picking up the pieces of the human race that has no longer grown responsible for its own premature demise. You might choose to become a rebel determined to poke holes in the socio-political structures that underpin your very existence, or instead be a pathetic citizen only interested in your own well-being. Establishing a career, finding love, and maintaining a circle of friends while knowing obviously you know the privilege amidst a homestead constantly on the brink of the destruction. All these approaches are valid, and there is a beauty in the thing deciding to follow your heart and do the right thing. Even if it dooms others to oblivion or plants a dark seed in your being that will be blossomed into restaurant. There are so many moments of unparalleled joy and bitter heartbreak, making the journey feel ever so real despite its lo-fi premise. Even as I rolled credits for the first time, I sat back in the state of unsure melancholy. I knew that my character could have become anywhere or go anywhere, so I started the experience all over again and again, confident the mistakes I had made couldn't be undone, or I could choose to build upon them in ways that are all built impossible to predict. Life is fleeting, so you best enjoy it. As a child emerging into the new planet for the first time, your mind is awash without the curiosity. Having spent your entire life inside the confidence of a colony ship, even the most mundane discourse are ripe with the fascination. Plants, animals, and the concept of fresh, breathable air are the things you never experienced before, and the early hours are spending learning about this new place and making friends as your guardians rush to establish order on the surface on an inherently hostile planet. Times are hard, and we can do its all things they come. I found a charming innocence to it, all that harkens back to own childhoods when all we do roll with the punches and react to authority were powerless to the question. During the first years, I often sought shelter in the arms of my doing father or landed lessons with my stick mother, obviously that one day they might be stripped away from me. We celebrated birthday in the comfort of our shared quarters, sneaking into the ration orders and conjuring up presents from nothing, knowing we could find love in the darkest places through sheer perseverance. I Was a Teenage Exocolonist might be a colorful and confident life sim on the wider reaches of space, but it's also a tale lined with a tragedy, as we so often forced to make tough decisions with live the consequences. The narrative lasts for an in-game decade, concluding on of the 20th birthday as you go through puberty and establish the foundation of adulthood that you can either choose to embrace or turn away from. Its nuance, its writing, creating an immediately feeling of empathy for entire cast regardless of their flaws. We grow up alongside characters, watching them compound love and lust in similar ways to our own. Innocent sparring session and bond infiltration soon evolve into something far more substantial, often resulting in the bitter ultimates I never saw coming. Season on planet feature rain, sandstorms, and a hostile pollen that cursed the land with an unexpected illness. The end of the reach brings you in a pollen darkness, giving unholy monsters and to tear the colony to pieces, live or loud, with little to defend themselves. It feels like each year is preparing for the eventually knowing that you can each choose stand alongside the defenders or seek a shelter in the flavor of your own salvation. I often didn't have the skills required for a whole weapon, let alone use it without getting myself killed, so I hid away occasionally, finding the bravery to check one's lows and save them from harm. Each decision came relief on regret, and I'm not afraid to admit I've reloaded myself on a number of occasions to chase after desired outcome. Every person you meet is layered and prone to be misunderstood. It looks often clouded by prejudice we form around how this colony should operate and who exactly want to grow up to be. My first playthrough, I was reserved a girl, often failing in line is supporting the colony leadership instead of questioning the mistakes being made that often forced us to starve due to lack of rations or engage in battles we weren't remotely ready for. I was a timid engineer preparing robots and teaching classes to a new generation, so I was take on the role of authority figure. So many other were placed better to do so. Another playthrough saw me constantly fighting back against orders, pointing out inconsistencies in how colony was being organized and how we were bound to repeat the same mistakes that saw home planet fall in the first place. All looks are valid, largely because I Was A Teenage Exocolonist provides so many versatility in the progression. Card game, sharing guns, and worth aiming to win this game its best. There are so many moments that took my breath away, whenever it be sudden loss of a loved one first kiss with the launching and acquiring crush, or major step forward for the colony as a whole. I Was Teenage Exocolonist is constantly surprising and afraid to showcase narrative ambition that so few games this year have been too much. It's effortless, the character writing, queer representation, and sense of place far beyond the stars. Yet even with the all-human those aliens concept and tale woven far away from home, it still feels increasingly human. Northway Games has crafted one of my highlights of the year, that's narrative adventure. It's wonderfully engrossing and hiding so many worthwhile characters, moments, and gorgeous secrets well worth uncovering. I've already spent so many hours with the game I felt like I have barely scratched the surface, prepared to drive back and live out this life over and over again until I settle on my imperfect resolution that feels well and truly my own.